Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you how you can make this beautiful wolfscape structure and you can add in your artwork inside, and it's very easy and very simple to follow, so let's make it. Okay, so to start off we have this plain white canvas, and on a new layer I have this stamp brush of a wolf. You can also add another silhouette of a wolf or any reference image from the internet, which is of course stock free. You can use that, and I will just make a stamp of wolf here. You can adjust the size and probably put it in the middle. Right, so now I'm gonna make a new layer on top of that, and we're gonna make it to clipping mask so that anything that we draw remains inside this shape. So I will go to airbrushing and probably a medium brush, and then I have this like green color tone selected here, so I'm just gonna play around with the greens here. So first of all I'm gonna choose like a darker green somewhere around here. I'll take my brush, increase the size, increase the opacity to 100%. I'm just gonna add in a stroke like this. Then I will make this color a bit lighter by dragging this brightness bar a bit like this. Then I will add in another stroke, and then we're just gonna repeat by making the color a bit lighter every time we go forward here, and then finally we can use the lightest color just like that. So we go to our Gaussian blur and we blur out this layer so it gives it a really nice gradient, like that. Then on the same layer, what I can do is I can go to the materials and noise brush. I can choose a darker green color with like around 65% size and maybe some 25% opacity. We'll just add in some texture to this. So now we have a bit of texture on this, so it doesn't look quite plain. Then I'm gonna create a new layer and also make it a clipping mask, just like that. And on this layer, I can go to organic rainforest brush and I will choose the same darker green, or we can make it a bit more dark. And the size would be around 2%, 100% opacity. And I am going to start by adding in our edges. Just to give it like a mountain shape. Sometimes when it kind of spills out, what you can do is you can hold it and you can reduce the threshold so that it's like right where you want it, just like that. And you can fill in these gaps. Now what I like to do is I like to duplicate the layer, take the lower layer and go to the transform, flip it horizontal and move it somewhere around here to give another hilly shape back there. And then we can go to our adjustments. We can go to hue, saturation and brightness. We can increase the brightness for this and increase the hue a bit as well. So this looks like a lighter mountain that's at the back. All right, now I go to my airbrushing soft brush. I will choose either of the layers. We can start with the front one. And I will choose a lighter green color, something like this. The opacity to around 50% and the size to around 20%. And we're just gonna add in some gradient to the mountains. Also for this one, the same gradient, so that it just gives a bit depth to it. Now we add in another layer, and it's time to add our moon and the birds. So the new layer, again, clipping mask, we choose the white color and we go here and we select the calligraphy, the monoline brush. We can increase the size to 100% and opacity to 100% and just tap. And what we can do now is you can always increase the size of the moon like this. So we have our moon. Then I can go to eraser and I would select the material noise brush, increase the opacity to around 60% and the size would be around 12%. We can just give it a bit shape of a moon. You can erase in the corners, and yeah, so there we have a moon. Now we make another layer. Once again, clipping mask, we go here to the brushes and we can go to inking and the studio pen, the same white color, and you can start adding in some of the birds. Here we have a rough sketch of our birds. Now what we can do is we make another layer, and now we go to our monoline brush in calligraphy, reduce the size around 16%, and of course don't forget to do the clipping mask. So here we made a small hill. Make sure to close it and fill it. Now we can go, and I have some already stamped tree brushes, so you can use the brushes or you can draw a tree. So I'm just, in order to save some time, I will use an already made trees from the brush stamps. The same black color will make another layer. We do the clipping mask, and let's see what's the size of this. Okay, it's slightly big. We can make it a bit smaller. So here we have some trees. Now we can add in our character. You can either draw it, or I will use a sellotape for that. This is our character, and we can just move it and place it here on the hill. Okay, and then we can always add some clouds as well. So we can go underneath the moon layer and above the hill layer. So there's a clipping mask. We go to our elements and the clouds, and we can use maybe a bit of a greenish color for the clouds, and the size could be around 15% and the opacity around 19 or 20%. You just go and add in these mystical clouds just to give it some shape. So now we have our clouds, and just an added detail, if you want, you can create a new layer on top of our character layer and you can make a clipping mask of it. You go here, you go to your airbrushes, And you can select the medium brush, and with the same green color that we have selected, you can zoom into the character and reduce the size to around the lower part of 2%, 100% opacity, and you can just slightly add in some shadows and some details to your character, so that it just gives a hint of that light, you know. Okay, so this gives it like a really nice highlight from where it's facing. So this is it. I hope you liked the tutorial, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe me and turn on that bell icon so you get regular updates on my new tutorials and artworks. Thank you.